Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the finest Dawn of War Unification casts this side of East Yorkshire. And today we've got a 4 vs 4 on Burial Grounds. Playing as Deathcore Krieg, we've got Stranger, we've got Carepaint, we've got me, and we've got Where's My Teeth. The opposing team playing as Death Guard, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, we've got Hyperion, we've got Kuken, and we have got Vasya Ogrin. So we'll have to preface this game by doing my usual, whenever it's spring or autumn coming around, the old grandfather Nurgles blessed me once again with tonsillitis. That is the usual thing that goes on at this time of year. Doesn't feel like it's been too long since I've had to make that kind of caveat, but such is the way of living with allergies and pollen being a thing, which is not a vibe for me, but oh well, I'll live, maybe. Anyway, we've got some Tribulation Mounds going for 1, 2, 3, 4, and for Vasya Ogrin. So able to summon some demons, being able to deep strike them as of where they want, which is quite an interesting thing to do in a team game, especially in a 4v4 when the map is so wide and reinforcements might be needed, especially on this side where it's a little bit forward, surrounded by... Who are you? You are Where's My Teeth, and... Oh, that's me, so... Potential 2v1 over here, a 2v1 over here as well. Stranger going to go for a bunker, straight up around here. Now, in saying that, I'm not sure if the Tribulation Mound might have been a best idea for 1, 2, 3, 4, as... Obviously, yeah, demons, fair enough. Very hardy. Lots of health, but going up against the firing line, not sure if it's the best thing for a forward-facing player. But then again, we do have some Death Guard with regular Marines coming from the back lines anyway, so we'll see how that goes. Soldiers over here in red pajamas, chasing after Vasya's cultists, who are just trying to peacefully capture this strategic point, minding their own business, but some demons are going to come forth, coming from the ground, waddling with pendulous chesticles to see if they can bring them down with their stabby bits and breaking their morale, forcing the soldiers to stay in combat. Once Deathcore Krieg's morale has been broken, they kind of just stay in combat for the glory of the God Emperor of mankind. But yeah, Plague Bearer is able to kill them very quickly. Nurgle cultists over here also being backed up by Plague Bearers, as Where's My Teeth's Lord Commander General with his plasma guns. Now these guys do have demon armor, so they'll be able to stand up against a lot of damage. Can get a maximum of 4, and only 50 blue money, so not expensive in the slightest in the grand scheme of things. But we do have a bunker over here, which will make assaulting this general area quite difficult. We have some cultists pestering this observation post down there. The cultists bringing up these... Sorry, not the cultists, they're not building things up, it's the Poxwalker Slave, but he'll be building that up at some point. Yeah, demons just not dying, they're just casually walking around murdering everyone in their path. As well as these cultists. Back and forth all day long. Do have a infantry charge going on over here, going to be trying to push back these cultists away from this listening post. And they do seem to be able to doing a fair good job. Plague Bearers will see if they can sort them out. Double Jaegers, unupgraded with any crack grenade launchers. That's a tier 2 and a Vox Center upgrade, so we'll be seeing that for a little while. Yeah, these guys don't want to mess around with these guys in close combat. I mean, look how quickly the morale falls when the demons are nearby. Yeah, those guys will be chased all the way back to the base in the center. We have got me trying to put up a observation post, but these cultists and a Plague Marine squad will be sending that listening post to a difficult situation. Got a bunker smack bang in the middle, looking over this critical location. As the Plague Marines upgrade themselves with a Plague Belcher, which will break the morale of these Jaegers. Ideal weapon for these kind of guys. As realistically, a squad of Jaegers aren't going to be winning any prizes against a Plague Marine squad, especially in Tier 1. So adding that Plague Belcher to them just forces them to basically just commit to an engagement that they don't want to. Like these guys, they're just chilling out. Those guys, they're kind of... I think they finished their movement... Well, their last movement command. Look at them charging back in. Back into combat. Against all tactical sense. While this is going on, we do have some cultists in... God, what's your name again? 1234's base. Being annihilated. And now double Lord General Command squads going to be pushing in over here. On the other side of the map, we do have the Plague Bearers up against pink and red Kriegsmen. And this is potentially a little bit of an overextension. As we've seen before in the past, when Death Guard overextend and they're caught out of position, well, I mean, they can't really run away, can they? Because running isn't a thing that they do all that well. Carrying on in the centre, listing post goes down. Sorry. Clearly too much pestilent fun going on for my throat here. My Lord General losing all his bodyguards. Now having to run away from all the assault plague marines. But the listing posts down here are being taken out. And more bunkers are being placed. Playing a little bit of SimCity going on with all this stuff. This is a sizable contingency of plague marines. Lord General Command Squad will be the primary focus in keeping these guys' numbers low. As those plasma guns will be the linchpin to our defensive strategy. This post down here will be upgraded, but it's constantly being bothered by the crack grenade launchers. Quick tier 2, I must say. Going for some foul blight spawn. Now, you just wait till you see these guys kill things, because these dudes don't mess around. Maximum of 3. It's a good job there's a limit of them, because... I mean, there we go, look at them. Look at them go, look how quickly they're able to... I mean, maybe the bunker's a bad example, but... There we go. Remind me a lot of the Warp Fire Thrower of the Skaven in Total War Warhammer 3 or 2 or whenever that faction came out. It's going to move in, spreading foul pox and plague. Definitely not something you want. And the Death Guard are taking command over the centre, even with all the bunkers in the world unable to hold off the advance of the Plague Gods chosen. What's going on the other side of the map? More Plague Bearers. And Blight Grenades being thrown at the Hellhound. Jaegers being brought down low very quickly. Listing post going to go down. And the Hellhound is in a dire situation. Let's have a very quick look at the economies. 96 and 106, 98 and 14, 92 and 66, and 92 and 20 compared to 44 and 20, 92 and 50, 122 and 50, and 62 and 60. Look at that for a swift economy check. I'm going to start a career as a rapper one day. So, yeah, at the moment, the Plague... Oh, sorry, should I say the Death Guard are doing all right. These foul blight spawns are certainly turning the tide, able to destroy infantry and buildings quick as you fancy. But they are suffering a little bit on the economy department. And now we're getting some Hellhounds out. So they're going to have to start getting those Plague Havocs on the move. As I'm not sure that the foul blight spawn is actually any good against vehicles. And also these Plague Bearers, wonderful addition to your roster in Tier 1. Don't think that they scale all that well into Tier 2, especially when the Deathcore Krieg get out their mortar platoons and their heavy weapon platoons. Just a little theory crafting there, if I could be so bold. Do have all the pink coming on this side. Plague Marines holding on in the centre, and we've got these foul blight spawns murderizing every single thing in Where's My Teeth space. No recruitment buildings, no plasma generators. A very difficult situation he is now in, but he does have one mortar platoon, and I will bring my Hellhounds over to harass and harry these guys out of the base. It will turn their attention to this field command. But this is kind of an overextension at this point. May want to see if we can get these boys back home and some way, shape or form. Over on the Never Eat, on the eastern side of the battlefield, Deathcore Krieg looking very strong. Lots of Jaegers, lots of heavy weapons platoons on the way. And we are going to see a Plague Havoc squad Not sure if they've gone for their missile launcher upgrade. Got some Plague Bearers coming out, and another Foul Blight Spawn. This is supposed to be rebuilt, but not being upgraded as of yet. And heavy weapons platoons able to jump in and out of Storm Chimeras, making these guys all the more mobile, and also it gives them an additional layer of protection. Should they be out of position, they can just jump into the Storm Chimera. Not sure how balanced that is, I'll be entirely honest. It feels incorrect that you'd be able to fit these guys into a Storm Chimera, but it does add to the unique nature of the heavy weapons platoon in comparison to the heavy weapons teams of the Imperial Guard and the Steel Legion. Plague Bearers trying to get a flanking maneuver. Looking very dire for them there. There's a lot of firepower to deal with, especially now with another Hellhound coming in from the northern side. Over yonder, we do have some botflies trying to take care of these Hellhounds, managing to take out one. Plague Lord also moseying around. And a bloated Rhino packed to the brim with fighting lads. Not sure if over here's the way you want to go. You kind of want to take on these mortar platoons, especially with your bloated Rhino. We'll be able to get them up nice and close. Bloated Rhino will have no choice but to either hop in one of these. Well, it's actually these are all Hellhounds. No transportation for these guys. Bloated Rhino manoeuvring smack bang in the middle, looking to hunt down that mortar platoon. There we go, Assault Marines with their charge animation. But not quite able to get there. I'm going to be distracted by this Hellhound. Over on this side, Vasya Ogrin holding up a brilliant defence, but 2 versus 1. Foul Blight Spawn does manage to get that Hellhound down. These Jaegers over here not looking too fresh and fancy. But the heavy weapons platoons really showing their strength in this game. Plague grenades been thrown down here, but sadly no dice by the looks of things. Do have a Plague Havoc squad moving on around here. My central bunker has been taken down, and this thermal plasma generator with all its spinny goodness inside, that's not looking all that pretty at the moment. Might not survive. The Plague Bearers continue to assault. Mortar platoon finally being caught out of position, will be killed it, but triple Hellhounds unrelentingly purging with fire against these Blight Spawns. And I do believe that fire is good against demons, so that's something. Oh, Blight Drone, which is a vehicle. I always thought it was a demon, personally. But I could be wrong, my knowledge of lore is not all that accurate. A heavy weapons platoon is now out in support for this Hellhound. And the Assault Plague Marine squad will have to vamoose out of there. Vasya Ogrin still defending. Still alive there. Oh, bless me. Not only has the tonsillitis happened, but also apparently all the pollen in the world, which I kid you not is about 5 grams at the moment. There's no flowering buds around my local area. I live on an industrial estate, but for some reason my face is on fire. Possessed Marines, look at them go. Going to engage in glorious hand-to-hand combat against a heavy weapons platoon. And once you get these heavy weapons platoons out of position, they are very easy to kill. Although they do have the advantage of having multiple members of their squad. Can also pop down, I think it's either the Jaegers or soldiers to be able to pop down a little circle bunker around them. Unless I'm getting them confused with Ultimate Apocalypse. But yeah, Vasya Ogrin losing all his buildings. And I'm fairly certain... Have you... Where are you? Oh yeah, he's out. He's out of the game. No one left. So it's currently 3v1, but that's not to say that the game is over. Considering that now there's one whole place where there's extra strategic points to fight over. And sometimes one player with multiple strategic points is more valuable than 2 players with less. Do have a Feckle at normal just being slammed down right outside this Scourge incubator. And Plague Havocs. Double squads as well. I think so. Oh no, not just regular Plague Marines. We're still pushing in this centre point. Gotta make sure that the home is defended just as well as these front lines. Bloated Rhino on the right hand side, trying to get over onto this side to prevent the building up of observation posts. One Rhino goes down. This is a Plague Predator there. And the Assault Plague Marines managing to almost wipe out a Jaeger squad. But they are going to have to focus their attention on these heavy weapons teams. Although, listen, they're just ever so slightly have the same speed or just a little bit slower than the Assault Marines. It's kind of like when you're being chased up the stairs, somehow it's just even more scarier. Trench Raiders now out, armed with their shovels. Gonna charge in. Heavy weapons platoons over here, also going to start taking out 1, 2, 3, 4's base. Ragnarok, from my side of the field, going to be adding its thunder cannon to the volley of fire. 1, 2, 3, 4. Managing to get that cesspit, so certainly up there in the technology. We know some Blight Lord Terminators from Kuken. And now it is is that 2v4? Yep, 2v4. Things looking ever more desperate for the Death Guard. These Blight Lord Terminators will wade into hand-to-hand combat against these Trench Raiders. Armed with their maces, bringing the mace to the face. Certainly brave lads. I would not want to contend with a Blight Lord Terminator with naught but a medieval piece of weaponry. Losing their morale. Also been affected by all the explosive deaths of the Death Guard. But the Trench Raiders able to reinforce quite nicely. Their numbers know no end. And the Blight Lord Terminators ever so slowly being whittled down by these tier 2 tier 3. Is it tier 3? I'll say tier 3 observation listing posts. So yeah, they don't want to fight underneath this barrage of fire. And now we've got myself and... Oh, sorry, what's your name again? Is it just me? Ah, where's my teeth? Moving in. A charge across the map. Plague Bear's Crawler will be exploding things. And from the Death Guard's perspective, it's a very difficult time. Plague Havocs would be the answer. Well, Plague Havocs with the upgraded missile launchers would certainly be the call here, I imagine. Maybe even some dreadnoughts, just so they can move in, take a lot of the fire coming in, but also keep these heavy weapons platoons on the move as well. But we are seeing Predators. A Plague Predator in the centre, very low health. And oh, we've got a Pustulant Land Raider. Oh, quite cool. With a little Poxwalk Sliv. So happy that it's there, it's just going to dance around him. Sweet beans. Another heavy weapons platoon taking on this listing post as it's upgrading itself, but dear oh dear. Not surviving. Commissariat Lehman Russ leading the charge with these Trench Raiders. Not wanting to go around this way though, there are a lot of things to contend with. Blight Lord Terminators, a Desecrator, listing post, and soon to be a Turret Demon. I mean, these guys can probably take it on, to be honest, but they will lose a lot in that moment. There's some Death Shroud Terminators. Do love these boys. It's just the HUD. Very Grim Reaper-esque. Just more flies. Yeah, the assault around here is continuing. Lady Inquisitor and Typhus and Traveller going toe-to-toe. Do have... Well, you Plague Predator, Malkador, and all the tanks in the middle. And where has the... Ah, the Land Raider has gone over here. It's fallen back. There's too many tanks for it to really deal with. Not an advantageous engagement going on here. At this point, I mean, these guys can kind of just mosey on into any of these bases. There's no real defense for us at the moment. We've kind of committed a lot on our western side to take the battle to the Death Guard. Pustulant Land Raider going up against this Ragnarok. Predator goes down. Death Riders adding lots of melter guns, or melter bombs, sorry, to the hide of this Pustulant Land Raider, and it does go down quick, sharpish. It's a huge loss for the Death Guard at this point in the game. Could have really done with something like a relic unit being around. But now the horses do not have any explodey stabby bits, and more plague demons are being summoned around the flanks as the scourge generators are being taken down. Turret demon there will certainly assist with the defense. And now Death Shroud with Typhus the Traveller, looking to see if they can catch any people off guard. Got a Possessed Marine Squad as well. Not going to do all that much damage against a Malkador, but will certainly cause troubles in the base if they decide to start being a little bit aggressive. And that's one way to prevent an assault, or at least delay an assault, is by just being a little bit aggressive yourself. Our assault on this side has kind of calmed down quite substantially. And the Death Guard are reclaiming this side of the map. There is, I mean, Stranger has basically built up a lot of stuff going on, and he's got loads of tanks on the go, but ever so tenuous is having the advantage in a game. Complacency has been the main enemy of many a fighting man. In the sense, we've got all the action going on. Typhus the Traveller taking it on the chin, but sadly taking too much. And look at this absolutely epic firing line. All the heavy weapons platoons. Malkador's not quite wanting to get involved there. Also got a Minotaur over here. It's insane damage for an artillery piece. Plague Predator armed with twin-link las cannons, so won't be doing all that much against these trench raiders as they charge in. Get a good surround on that Plague Predator. And triple Predators actually now. Or quadruple, sorry, if I can even count. Trench Raiders not really enjoying this all that well, but they will commit to the bit. And fight all the way to the end. And the assault continues over here, but the observation posts are being rebuilt. Light Lord Terminator Squad kind of trying to engage in long range. Won't go up against his Malkador all that well. Might need to fall back from this increasingly ranged, or should I say the increasing range damage from all these lads. Then again, surprise, here comes the Demon Prince of Nurgle. And this is looking a little bit scarier. Especially if you can deep strike some demons in the ranks. Gonna slice up this Malkador quite nicely, but it will decide to just slowly drive away. Ah yes. Demon Prince of Nurgle, is one true weakness is his lack of ability to chase people down. And now he's absolutely surrounded by all the firepower in the world. While this is going on, the Plague Predators did manage to push out a little bit. And I've started to fight up. You see, they're fighting over the central point here, which, I mean, fair enough, there's stuff to grab there, but there are other more valuable targets to go for. A long line of infantry supported by tanks and heavy weapons platoons now once again moving over onto this side, looking to finish the job. Malkador leading the charge for Stranger, as there is now no one here to defend this base. He's going to go for a Plague Zombie Horde, hoping that that might ameliorate the deadly advance that is to come. Plague Havoc's running away from these trench raiders. We're surrounded by turret demons. Now these guys aren't going to be living for very much longer, are they? We're now moving in, opening all the fire. No building standing this test of time. What have we got here? Oh, we've just got a casual listing post just being forgotten about. Minotaur on the front ranks, not where you would normally see him. Feeling a little bit confident. Taking a leisurely drive through the marshes. And the Death Guard have got a fleeting defense, but a defense nonetheless. Double plague-based crawlers. A nice answer to the infantry. And also the heavy weapons platoons as well, able to knock them over. Knife of the Traveller coming back for a second pass. But these Vendettas, amazing fire rate, lots of missiles on them too. Makes them a general all-around, good against everything kind of unit. Typhus certainly taking a lot of damage, but taking it quite well. Plague Havoc's not really wanting to get involved anymore, they're just kind of staring off into the distance, wondering to themselves where it all went wrong. Maybe their commitment to the Plague God was a bit misguided. Didn't quite read the brochure upon signing up. It's always those terms and conditions, man. They always get you in the end. Plague Zombie Horde now spawning, but will be taken out very quickly. These guys are not demons, they are just regular infantry. So late game, they're not going to do all that much. Early game, they're not bad, from what I understand, or at least from what I've seen. Going to take quite the pounding, but not at this stage of the game, I'm afraid. But still, more Plague Zombies are on the way. Anything for Typhus the Traveller to use in his desperate attempt to hold everything back. And to be fair, the original things that were assaulting this area at the moment, they had loads of infantry, and now they're done. So, very good defense all the same. What have we got over here? Oh, just these guys standing around, chilling out. Loaded Rider, looking to potentially run people over, but will not get the chance to, I'm afraid. All the Jaegers in the world, soldiers as well. And the infection point does go down. I will tell you what, boys and girls, if you have not guessed it already, if your favourite craft is not as competent or as amazing as mine, I will tell you now, I'll give you a clue. The Deathcore Krieg do indeed win this game. The Death Guard putting up a stalwart defence with only 2 players left, but sadly they did not achieve victory this day. Although it was quite a good assault, especially at the beginning of the game. I mean, they were in both this base over here and on this side as well. In fact, like I say, wiping out every single building with their blight, foul spawn dudes. I suppose one thing that kind of went awry for them was when the Hellhounds came out that were then supported by the heavy weapons platoons. Kind of needed an answer for those platoons before that critical mass started the building. Not sure entirely what the Death Guard could have gone for. I imagine probably, like I said earlier, maybe some dreadnoughts? Question mark? Yeah, it's a tough one, especially when those weapons platoons ended up going into chimeras as well. Certainly a difficult composition for the Death Guard to contend with. But yeah, if you like the game, have a look at Patreon. £1 a month does get you 1 extra game a week. And have a look at the Discord, that's where all these games, or at least a good chunk of these games, do take place on. Mine's been Mr. Landshark. Pleasure as always, never a chore. I will see you in a bit. Peace.